actually believed that their God was just as good as everybody else's,
Peace.
what would happen?
Well, where do we start?
By getting off that rock. Thank you, my awesome guys. So, as we're redirecting our staging here, that someday we're going to fix. Needs, wants, and desires. What's the difference? Okay, say, I need. What do you need? What's the word? Huh? Air. Food. Water. Sleep. Love. Touch. Money. We do. We need. So say, I need to feel better.
I need to feel better.
Turn to the person next to you and say, you need to feel better. Well, how'd that feel? Just right there. How'd that feel? You need to feel better. How'd that feel? A little weird? Yeah. Are you starting to sense there could be a little vibrational difference in the word need? I need. There is an inherent belief system in the word need. What would it be? That there is not enough, that there is lack, that therefore I need, right? Who loves needy people? Well, I love them, but I don't necessarily want to hang out with them, right? So, because I love all people. But the behavior now, which is not the person, it's just a behavior they put on, when we or they or whatever it is gets needy, when you or I gets needy, what's going on in us? Lack of what? Worth. Self-worth. Is that possible? Are you feeling it yet? If I am feeling needy in any way, shape, or form, which how many people here were raised to need means to love? Oh, everybody. Whenever we were little, all of us were taught to speak that way. Most of our parents said things like, you need to do this and you need to do that because they believed they were being loving. So the idea of need is to love. I need you. I can't live without you. I am nothing without you. Right? It's like, oh, I am incomplete. I am lacking from. Okay, you got it? Need. Here's the clue. Not a word we want to use very much. That's why I started with it. Not a word that is very powerful in our vocabulary. We have an incredible seminar. Probably many people say it's their favorite one, although I hear that about everyone. But this one coming up, this is called Expansion. And in Expansion, yeah, it's fun. In Expansion, it's a 2.5-day immersion seminar on our vibrational frequency and the power of our emotional states and the words that we use inside that emotional state. So the word, we're going to be looking at words and vibrational frequencies, and the word need, do you think it vibrates at a high vibrational frequency or a low vibrational frequency? It wouldn't be like very low because there's a whole bunch of worse attitudes to adopt there that would not serve somebody. But need certainly is right there in the lower, below the average, yeah? Okay, so let's switch a little bit. How many people here want something? I do. Want something?
Yep.
Okay, what do you want?
I want to retire.
You want to retire. We want to make sure we get real clear on the new meaning of retirement. Right?
From the current position.
There we go. The more clarity, the more clear and concise, because the collective consciousness to retire is to get ready to die.
No, thank you.
There we go. So we're talking about the power of words. People, all this is true for all of us people. We're all people, yes. So for people, and myself included, when I don't use words that are more powerful and more open where everyone can join me, I literally constrict the life force of possibility right out of me. You know why? Because the universe can only reflect back to me my best understanding of my consciousness. You can just let that go. So in really looking at our best understanding of our consciousness, and we're talking about the word want, what do we want? She said, I want to retire. We took a look at that word, retire. What do you want? What do you want? Get real here. We're about real here. I want more money. I want my elbows to work better. Is that it?
No, heal.
Heal. Sure. Work better. Heal. What do you want?
More trust in the divine flow.
More trust in the divine flow. Absolutely. Well, that would change our lives, wouldn't it? What else?
Passion.
More passion? More passion. I want more passion. What else?
More understanding.
More understanding. Now, what's interesting about understanding is that's in the eye of the beholder. In fact, these all are. So if I want more understanding, then what must I do?
Understand.
Be more understanding, right? And understanding is a tricky word. So it's looking at, I like to look at the idea of just being more receptive, right? More receptive, more flexible. Because our misunderstandings are due to being inflexible, yeah? So what do you guys want over here? You don't want anything? Nobody wants anything over here? What do you want? Abundance. What do you want?
Abundance.
Abundance. Harmony.
More balance.
More balance.
Cooperation.
Cooperation, again, in the eye of the beholder, yes.
Tolerance.
What?
Tolerance.
Tolerance, again. The more tolerant I am, the more tolerant people will be in my presence, yeah? And I have to be mindful which group I hang out with,
Purpose.
right? Purpose. Okay, very good. Turn to the person next to you on your left and your right and say, I want, finish the sentence. I want what? What do you say? What do you want? What do you want? What do you want, Ross? Everything. What specifically do you want? More peace of mind.
I want.
Okay, so you guys are getting this? We went from need to want. Were any of you in your sensory acuity enough? You guys know what that means, sensory acuity? Once you're in the seminars, it'll become a famous and powerful word for you, so we'll give it to you right now. Sensory acuity is our ability to sense everything that's going around us, whether we can see it or not. Reverend Patricia is going to be talking a lot about this next weekend, our sensory acuity. She may use a different language, but essentially it is our ability to sense what's going on. Who had a mom that could see with eyes in the back of her head? Okay, well, they're your dad, so there you go. So a mom that knows what's going on with their kid and they can't see their kid is just practicing their God-given right of sensory acuity. They just don't question it. They know, which is a very important word. They know. My mom always knew, and I could never figure out how she knew, and it just drove me insane. How could she know? And yet she did. And to this day, I say to my wife all the time, God, she's always right. You know what? She's right like 99% of the time. Freaks me right out. She is so right all the time. Don't know about her delivery, but she's right all the time. And I'm like, okay, I think I should just surrender. When whatever she says no, I go, okay. Got it. Because she'll be right. So the need and we have the want. How did it feel? What was the difference if your sensory acuity is going on? What was the difference in the way you just felt when you were speaking about want versus need?
Sense of possibility.
So you had more of a possibility. What else?
Energetic.
There is no question that the vibrational frequency went up. Y'all know that. David Hawkins, who wrote Power versus Force, we use that book all weekend in the expansion seminar that proves the biofeedback and the vibrational frequency of our words and actions and emotional states. So that is very true. Energy, that when the energy came up a little bit. What else? Did you feel any other differences, any other shifts?
More direct.
Empowering.
More direct. More empowering. More drive. These are very good. I got some really tuned in people here. Very good. So we started with need. We moved up to want. Now, let's try this one. Okay? Are you ready? Listen carefully to what I'm about to say. what or who do you desire?
My higher self.
My higher self.
More secure and centered.
Higher self says it all. What do you desire?
To live on purpose.
Long and purpose, yes, purpose driven. We are so about here, not just coming and getting together to have a good time, but taking this out into the world and living our spiritual purpose as spiritual leaders, as you so brilliantly said this morning. What do you desire?
More devotion.
More devotion. For what purpose devotion?
To feel more congruent with God.
To feel more congruent with God. What do you desire? What are your deepest desires?
For everybody to get along.
For everybody to get along. So you can feel where that's coming from, can't you? When she said that?
World peace.
World peace, you know. All we all have to do is to stop correcting each other and we'd have it. That's as simple as that. What do you desire in your life?
Love.
Love. What do you desire? Come on, let's get real, you guys, because I can feel you and hear you. So I'd like you to tell me what you're thinking. What do you desire above all else? To know God? Oh yeah. What else?
To feel loved.
To feel love?
Happiness.
Desire.
To thrive.
To thrive. That's right, my handsome, gorgeous guy. To thrive. What else? What do you desire?
Harmony.
Harmony. Huh?
Fulfillment.
Fulfillment. So turn to the person to your left and right and watch your tonality and say, I desire, and finish the sentence. Go ahead, find somebody. For those of you that are kind of stuck out. And those of you that don't play, I feel sorry for you.
Desire connection. Meaningful connection.
Play. It's more fun.
Desire spiritual purpose.
What do you desire? Okay, did you feel the room just now? Could everybody feel the room? What, for those of you that are tuned in, turned on, and ready to go, what did you feel in the room?
Sincerity.
Sincerity.
More energy.
Softer, more energy. So there it is again. The energy just went up again. Lighter.
Open-hearted.
Open-hearted.
I think we started to become more real about it.
More real. That's exactly what happened, Nestor. That's exactly what happened. We became more real. Why is that? Why did the word desire bring us to more congruency than need did?
It's more of an intimate word.
It's an intimate word. What's going on back there?
Need is a dependency.
It's a dependency?
Desire is something that you want, but you're not going to force upon it.
That's right. Desire is just the vibrational frequency, as we'll show you in the seminar. This is like a big favorite part of the seminar, because when you see how powerful yours and my words and emotional states are and how we use them, everybody goes out and tests this stuff. Nobody takes my word for anything, so they go out and test it. And what do you think they all find? They find their own experience, which is the most important part. Their own experience of when they change the way they feel and say a word, their response from the universe will change. Change the way you say something, change the way you receive something. Right? So when we change the way that we say, I desire or I need, it's pretty hard to say need in that sweet way. I need. Doesn't work. I want. Not quite there. I desire. Shifts the whole energy. Makes it a safer place for us all to come into. So it reminds me of this story. And the story was about this great, great saint who was making a pilgrimage. You guys ever, who has read The Camino by Shirley MacLaine? Yeah, amazing story, that story. And essentially what she does is she goes on a pilgrimage all through South America on this trail that is known to have auspicious and amazing things happen. People go very deep. Whatever their religion, whatever their spiritual practice is, they go very, very deep, and they have great mystic experiences, very mystical experiences. And one of these people went on one of these pilgrimages on this Camino walk, and the whole time that he was walking on the road, he was saying, God, I need to know you. I need to know you. You must show me. You must make it clear. I need to know what has to happen. I need to know who I am. I need, God, I need. If you'll just listen to me this one time. And it was right at that second. There's this other guy that was walking along the same trail. And he was walking along the trail. And he was a very devout saint himself. And he was going and saying, I want to feel you, God. I want to feel your love. I want to share your light. I want to give all the goodness from you through me out into the universe. You must help me, just help me, because I want it so much that if I don't get it, I don't know what will happen. I want so much for you to make it clear. And it was just then. And then there was this third person. This woman. And this woman who was on the same pilgrimage was walking along the pilgrimage, and she was just chanting, walking along, thinking to herself, wow, I feel the essence of everything around me. I am so grateful to be right where I am. And she starts thinking as she's walking, and she's looking up into the beautiful trees. She's looking around the beautiful nature all around her. She's watching people speaking to invisible others because they're in some kind of mystic trance. And all she's thinking is, all I desire is the love of God. That's all I desire is the love of God. That's all I desire is the love of God. And with each step she took, all I desire is the love of God. That's all I desire is the love of God. She got all the way to the end, and every time somebody would come across her path or walk by her, they would feel this sense of auspicious energy. They would feel like, is she an angel? What is it about her that makes her so different? And the whole time she's chanting, all I want to do is desire God. I just desire God. I desire God. So the first guy, remember the first guy? He was like, I need to know. I need to know. And you remember what happened to him? He was walking miles and miles, getting more and more tired, more and more exhausted, because his need was beginning to get so big that it started eating away at him. His need became this big, huge need. So that everywhere he went, people sort of walked way around him. When he'd walk into one of the little places, little huts to stay, they'd clear out. And he couldn't figure out, what is wrong with everybody? I just need this thing to happen. I just need God to let me know who I am and what I'm doing. Why is everybody running away from me? Can't you see I need to know? I need to know what it is I need to know. And then he looked around, there was nobody there. And he heard, stop needing. And he thought, well, that can't be it. How could it be not needing? That's so silly. But he thought, well, I'll give it a try. And he started saying, okay, well, if I don't need, then it must be already here. And then right about that time, when he said it must be already here, people started approaching him and bringing him flowers and food and began to address him with love in their eyes. And they felt a shift in him. The very same people that avoided him down the path now wanted to be in his presence. And the want guy, the guy that just wanted to know, he just had to know, he wanted. If he could just fulfill his want, he would be perfect, whole, and complete. If he could just get what he wanted. Well, that guy, when he was going down the path, he noticed that he had enough to eat and he had a comfortable place to sleep, but he was wanting himself to a place where he was no longer present. His want was so far in the future about figuring things out in the future. Want pushes us into the someday, doesn't it? I want someday. And so what ended up happening is he spent his entire pilgrimage wanting the very thing he was already doing? So he gets to the end of the pilgrimage and he says, God, what's up? I just walked this whole pilgrimage wanting you to make it clear. It was right about that time that God said, you have everything you want. It's all within you. And so he turned around and went right back on the pilgrimage and tried it again. And then the desire woman, the woman that desired, all she did is, I just desire God. I just desire love. I just desire God. I just desire love. She'd hear these chants in her head all the time singing to her. And she'd hear the sounds of, she'd have these images of the brother's sun, you know, the sun right there, and Sister Moon. And she'd feel that desire just radiating out and pulling everything in her experience into her heart. And she began to feel that feeling of being completely congruent, completely one with the desire for only God alone, God alone, God alone. And the more, by the time she got to the end, she had a huge group of people behind her, all just wanting to be in her presence because she was so safe and so easy to be around. And all she did was desire good and sweet and love and God. And it made it, people want to just circle her and learn from her and ask her, how can I be more in that place of pure desire? And when she got to the end of her pilgrimage, she had fulfilled her dream and her wish. And she wanted to, these are all semi-true stories, she wanted to go back and she knew what her desire was. Her desire was to go and bring people to God. So when she was done with her pilgrimage, she opened one of the biggest spiritual communities around in Northern California, and people just flocked to her. We don't know what happened to need and want. We don't have any stories about them, because need and want is unfinished business. Need and want keeps things sort of just outside of our reach. But when we fully get congruent with desire, and all we really need to desire is to love, that's it, love, be loved, then everything follows. Everything is given to us. Everything it is that we think we need and we think we want is already there at the end of the pilgrimage, because it was there every step of the pilgrimage. And it has to do with the way we look at our language. So important. We talk so often about the way we speak something and not being the victims of our emotional state. How many of us have been a victim of our emotional state? This happened, therefore I feel this way, and now I'm stuck with it. No. Because we know that that is a choice in that moment to be that victim. And so we are a leadership academy that says, no person, place, thing, or condition, let me hear you. No person, place, thing, or condition can hurt, anger, or disturb me. Except for the power that I give it. So when we hear ourselves saying, well, this happened and now I'm really depressed, that is a choice. That is us choosing. Just like need, want, and desire, I could give you so many words that we are speaking without thought that have lower vibration, and we wonder, why is not our life reflecting back more of what we want? That's because the universe can't understand us. When we speak in clear and concise ways, and we speak as the children of the infinite, that we are children of the infinite. You guys, money grows on trees. It's made out of paper. Gems and jewels are in rivers and rocks. For those that go seeking, they'll find them. We are spiritual archaeologists, and we are wealthy beyond measure, because everything we could ever need, want, or desire is already created, and all we have to do is have eyes to see, ears to hear, and the ability to shift our state, our emotional state. And so whatever it is that y'all said you needed or you wanted, that's really easy. Give it. Give it. If you want money, give more money. If you want friendship, be more friendly. If you want health, be more focused on your healthiness. If you want to feel congruent, then practice and be in class and participate with the community so that you have like-minded people holding you up in the light for that 80-20 formula. Y'all know what the 80-20 formula is, don't you? The 80-20 formula is, well, we are spirit having a human experience, are we not? And if we tried to be perfect 100% of the time, how much fun would that be? We'd wear ourselves out. So we give ourselves 20% of the time to just slip. 20% of the time to be human. And when we are, and the need comes out, or the you need to, but make a deal with me today. How many of you hear yourself or others speak, you need to? How many of you hear it? Yeah, it's become a phrase, a way people speak. Join me, and every time you hear it, say to yourself, say it differently in your own mind, and don't repeat it. Yeah, that's right. And if you have somebody around you, like I do, who believes to love me is to tell me what I need, then I simply translate it, and I say, oh, she loves me, and I just don't hear the you need to. I just take the you need to out. She loves me, she loves me, she loves me, she loves me. That's all I have to do. And I don't get triggered hardly at all anymore. Hardly at all, except for 20% of the time. Thank you very much.